Hi, everybody. I'm Todd Conklin, and this is the Pre-Accident Investigation Podcast Safety Moment. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the power of how. How is a much better word for a leader than why. And the reason is not what you think. Now, I'll grant you, how has less inflammatory potential than why. How is definitely less blamey than why. How is probably a better way to start a conversation and not create defensiveness than why. But I don't think that's the big payoff. To me, the payoff is how an event happened is much more operationally informative than why an event happened. Why an event happened is probably always going to end up at some point at some level with an incentive. Worker was in a hurry. Worker was under production pressure. Facility was in a hurry. Facility was under production pressure. Shortcuts, and we'll talk about those later, but shortcuts almost happen always to create efficiency. That's why they're called shortcuts. We don't call them efficiency cuts, but I guess we could. The incentive structure is interesting, but I think it plays into that kind of mysterious belief that a worker made a choice, and therefore the worker made a different choice, the event wouldn't have happened. That's always true. It's just not very informative. How, on the other hand, how force functions you to look at context. It force functions you to understand conditions. How takes you away from the human activity and puts you into the system, the organizational activity. Now, it's simple. Don't overthink this. And for goodness sakes, the very best thing you can do is try it. But it's just the switch from how to why. Now, the language changes, that's for sure, but it also changes the way we think. Thinking is important. We think in language. And how really pushes you beyond the human error to the organizational conditions. And the organizational conditions are easier, faster, quicker, and cheaper to change than the mind of an individual worker. That switch from how to why is hugely important to what we want to talk about. But don't overthink it. Just try it. The safety moment for today is short and sweet, but I think the message is maybe one of the most important ones we'll ever have. Why takes you to incentive, how force functions you into context, conditions. And remember, complex systems don't have individual moments, they have motion. And complex systems are best understood by understanding the conditions in which the complexity is created. We want to make the conditions more visible and less opaque. That's today's safety moment. It's a simple one. Switch from why to how. As always, thanks for listening. I appreciate it so much. Subscribe if you want to. That always gets me some points. And have some fun. Learn something every day. And for goodness sakes, be safe.